Hey, Ish.
Hey, what's up?
Ishmael Johnson is here.
To send us off in a final
contributor
thoughts, nice
and
goodbye.
the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Basketball Magazine, which now is in some places.
Yeah, some places.
I saw that. So I know. Well, no, because I saw a tweet.
So enthused.
I saw a tweet. They have them at the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
The Texas Sports Hall of
cool.
Fame. So if you're in Waco, and it's got Lauren Cox on the cover.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, they are in stores, or they're in the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. You can go get them there. Our friend Jay Black has them out there. So,
but obviously, you can also order them texasbasketball.com/store if you want it delivered right to your door. We've had some issues with, getting it out to the stores right now. I realize that it is late. It's not everywhere,
buddy. This is a collection of like 1/5 of all the people in the world who understand this struggle.
Yeah.
Because it's like me, you, and any other past managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
So, yes, I see the tweets. It is late to the stores. Apologies. TexasBasketball.com. We can deliver it right to you, so you wouldn't have that problem. So, yeah. But it is out.
He says, I see the tweet.
In places.
And congratulations to your Nats.
Oh, yes. Lifelong Nats fan, obviously.
Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah. Also, congratulations to your Nats as well.
They're, no, they're not my Nats. They're not my Nats. But they're your Nats, and I'm happy for you. And another thing that makes a lot of people happy is America's favorite
segment.
segment.
Podcast, by the way.
Free money! Free money! Our college football picks against the spread. Courtesy
Just the worst.
of a late backdoor cover last week by UTEP. 14-point rally. I went 4-4 last week. 4-4. 39, 27, and 3 on the year. Big week this week. There are 8 games.
And you're going to get them all wrong.
Another day off the calendar.
Every single one of them is going to be wrong.
As long as there's a day off the calendar,
don't
I'm
let this
closer and
fool
closer
tell you how to waste your money.
to get there. So there are 8 games this week. Actually, some very big spreads, which makes me very tense. Yeah. So we will start where, Ashley?
I hate this. West Virginia at number 12 Baylor, 7 p.m. tonight. Shahan will be there, and I think he's hoping that his Baylor Bears cover that spread. 17.5-point favorite at home.
Well, the biggest thing about this is that we talked about in the open. There is no real reason this game should be close.
Right.
Unless something goes really poorly for Baylor, this game shouldn't be close. Like, unless Baylor comes out super flat, or Baylor puts the ball on the ground like 4 times, or Baylor has like a major injury to a key player. Everything lines up for Baylor, both like in the numbers as well as in like just the everything around it. They're at home. They're coming off a bye week. They are pretty healthy. They're focused. Everything about that, all the kind of periphery, it favors Baylor. So do all the numbers, okay? West Virginia is a bad offensive team going up against that cannot run the ball, going up against a Baylor team that their defense is pretty darn good. Now, look, Baylor will – the only place that you can see this game turning would be if Baylor, for some reason, starts letting West Virginia pass on them. And I just don't think that's going to happen. West Virginia is really a lot more of a dink and dunk team this year. Baylor has been a little bit susceptible to the dink and dunk. That is pretty much it. Every time Baylor has the ball, there's a big advantage for them. Too many things point to Baylor in this game for me to not pick Baylor. 17.5 is a lot.
It is.
It's a lot. 2 touchdowns, more than 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Like, that's a lot. But I think they come out there, and I think that they look the part of a dominant team. I'm going to take Baylor minus 17.5.
I think I took West Virginia to cover.
It's a big spread.
Big spread.
Yeah, that's
midweek game. Weather's
Halloween,
not great.
Spooky season.
It's Halloween. It's weird.
It's weird.
That is the one thing. The cold weather, if that tamps down the offense, and this game is still still a dominant effort in this game would be like Baylor 24, West Virginia 10.
Right.
Wind is huge too for if West Virginia is going to try and pass it all. Wind is it's supposed to be very windy tonight.
I remember I checked the other day, and kickoff was supposed to be around sub 50 when in Waco. So. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I think I gotta go with West Virginia to cover.
It's a big spread,
but yeah, and
these
midweek games have always been really close. Yeah. So I don't know.
Speaking of big spreads,
yeah, oof, this one is impressively big. Here we go. Wait for it, and there it is. UTSA at Kyle Field. A&M is favored by 38 points.
I mean,
Goodness.
you can't blame them. I mean,
No.
This is an SEC team at home taking on not just a Conference USA team, but let's be real, a
very
bad
bad.
Conference USA team. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that should scare you away from this would be the 38 points. Like, that's a lot. But look, the other thing about this is a bad UTSA defense. If this is more or less Vegas putting the stamp of approval in saying that the A&M offense we saw last week, that's the A&M offense we're seeing in this game. If that's the case, then yeah, they're going to cover the 38 because UTSA is probably not going to score more than about 10, right? And so you're talking about 48 to 10, 49 to 10 would be a cover, right? You're asking them to score 49 points. I think that they do. I think that's the case. I just don't think UTSA's offense is going to be able to get anything going, and that's going to be the big issue in this one. As a result, that's why I'm taking A&M to cover the 38, believe it or not.
I worry about garbage time points.
I worry about garbage time. Well,
man, I don't.
The thing I was about to say, not with UTSA.
How are they going to score?
That's fair. That's
like,
true.
Because A&M, God, if it was literally
if it was
team in
if
this
it was
state,
30, yeah.
Other than probably UTEP, I'd worry about garbage time points because, but it's like, where's it going to come from?
Right.
If would it shock you? Or actually, here's the thing: can A&M hold UTSA to 7? And the answer is yeah.
Yeah, I think they can.
Like I think they can. And it's like, okay, well then
this game has like 58 to 10 written on it.
Right. And it's like, God, that's a lot of
but
points.
38's a ton. Like I totally get it.
That's a lot
Ton
of
of
points.
But could you also look at the score like 41-3?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Or 45-3. Yeah, totally. So A&M. I think A&M covers.
All right.
What's next, Ashley?
Big bet in there.
Another big spread.
Let's see. We've got Houston at UCF, 11 a.m. Saturday. UCF favored at home by 22.
So UCF is not the UCF of old. They've lost 2 games, including they lost to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati sent out the greatest tweet of all time.
Yes.
In response, if you didn't see it, they did the
Disney.
Did you remember this? The Disney
You didn't
intro.
see the Disney one?
It was like the Disney intro where it's like they're playing the where the castle and it's like doing that, and instead of it saying like Disney,
you hate to see it?
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Oh my God.
That was awesome.
I was sitting on my couch with my wife, and I watched that, and I literally laughed aloud, and she I scared her with how loud I laughed. Anyway, this is not the UCF of old. This is not the UCF of old. Still pretty good UCF.
Yeah.
Okay, still pretty good UCF team, and most especially, their offense is still humming. Okay, their offense is terrific. Their passing game is really good. They run the ball really effectively, and every time they have the ball, that's a problem for Houston. The other thing in this game, and I think we found out, and the reason I'm taking UCF minus 22. Now, I don't like taking all these big spreads, but the bottom line of it is that I think we've started to determine that Houston at TDECU Stadium in Houston is a different team than when they go on the road. There's a trip to Orlando. It's an early kickoff. I think the thing for me is, can Houston run the ball? Can they run the ball against what's been a pretty good UCF rushing defense? This is going to be. I think this game is going to be. I think UCF's a considerable favorite for a reason. I'd love to get that thing to like 20.5, but I'll take the 22. I'll take UCF minus 22.
Yeah, same. UCF's great against the run.
So they're going to ask Clayton Tune to beat you.
Right, they're going to ask Clayton Tune to beat you.
And by the way, their secondary is pretty good too.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And I believe UCF is either second or like top 5 in yards per game.
Second.
So it's like, all
against
right.
the 119th ranked
yeah,
total.
they're
not
not
going to stop them.
So yeah, no chance. UCF covers pretty comfortably.
Take UCF. What's next, Ashley?
All right, up next, a matchup I feel like that got a bit more interesting after last week. TCU at Oklahoma State, 2:30 p.m. Saturday. OSU favored by 3.
TCU coming off, of course, that big win last week over Texas. Got to be feeling good about themselves. Going on the road now to Stillwater to take on the Pokes. And this is, again, you have to ask yourself, can Max Duggan go and do this again? Because if he can, the Oklahoma State secondary is not great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Oklahoma State secondary is not great. The real intrigue in this game is going to be when Oklahoma State has the ball.
Yeah.
Because that offense against the TCU defense, I think, is going to be really, really fun to watch. I don't know. I am inclined to believe that TCU turned the corner last week, offensively. And you know what? Not only do they cover the 3, I think they go to Stillwater and win.
Do you think they went outright?
I think they win outright. I'd look at a money line on this game. I'm going to take TCU.
Face.
I'm going to take TCU. I'm going to take TCU plus 3.
I do not. Oh, God.
I think they turn the corner offensively.
Because part of me is like, I don't know. Part of me wants to look at last week and just say, like, Texas' defense is just a lot
They
worse
just
than
caught
we
'em?
thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Would you take Texas' defense or Oklahoma State's defense? The fact that you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also willing to cede, but here's the other thing. I was going to say I'm willing to cede that they're going to be on the road, but at the same time, TCU on the road hasn't necessarily been a problem.
That's true.
And didn't Tech win against Oklahoma State at home, or was that?
That was in Lubbock.
It was.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was in Lubbock.
Never mind.
Golly, I don't know. Oklahoma State's coming off a big win at Iowa State.
I'm going to take the points.
You're gonna take the point. I will take. You know what? Here's the thing. I'll take TCU because it's Gary Patterson against a quarterback who's been known to make mistakes this year.
Mhm.
Spencer Sanders has thrown a lot of picks. Granted, he is a freshman. He's making freshman mistakes.
124th in an interception rating.
Yeah.
Or interception rate.
He has 13 touchdowns and 10 picks.
TCU, 21st in defensive interception rate.
So, yeah, I'm going to give Gary Patterson and
toss-up.
TCU a benefit of the doubt and say that TCU can win outright as well.
Go Frogs. What's next?
The barn burner that is UTEP at North Texas,
Oh,
2:30 p.m. Saturday. UNT favored by 23. Let's hear it.
Ashley, you going to be there?
I will be. Yeah, it's homecoming. I got duties to do.
What do you mean?
I won homecoming last year, so I've got to be there and pass on the crown.
Bearing the lead there.
Homecoming queen Ashley Pickle.
Yeah, that happened.
Why have you not brought in the crown?
I
Will you bring it? So tomorrow's your last day with the crown?
no, I think they get a new crown. Like, I think I get to keep my crown. The trophies thing is cooler than the crown.
But tomorrow's the last day of your reign of terror.
Yes.
Okay.
That's true.
Tomorrow's the last day of your reign of terror.
I'm not wearing this crown.
I'm asking you a personal favor.
I do. No.
Okay.
I didn't even wear it when I literally walked off the field, went and changed to go back out and MC, and didn't even wear it then.
No,
not wearing it.
Hold on. Let's negotiate here. This is a negotiation.
Not wearing it.
Live on the air. No, I'm not going to ask you to wear the crown. Okay? Do you have a sash?
I have a homecoming court sash, but not like a winter sash.
Will you wear the homecoming court sash on the air tomorrow for Mailbag Friday?
I'll consider.
We got a lot of troops in the comments. You should do it for the troops.
Do
Go.
you hate the troops?
Do you hate the troops?
I love the troops.
I don't know-
Thank
I don't
you,
know about you.
very
I
much.
don't know.
We
I don't-
stand
well,
the
Ishmael,
troops.
Ishmael, I don't know about you. I love the troops.
No.
I love the troops
You love
as
the troops too?
well.
Oh, okay. Ashley, do you love the troops?
I
Because I think
do.
the troops want the sash.
I'm
gonna
I
speak
don't-
on
they
behalf of the
haven't-
troops.
You cannot do that. First off. Second off, no. Oh, okay. Someone said do it.
Yay!
I don't know. Is Daniel Agnew a troop though?
You believe that doesn't seem important. He's an American. All right, let's get to
Troops request that Ashley wear the sash.
please log in and say I'm a troop and
I'm a
troop. Okay. All right, let's get to UTEP and North Texas. This is my perfect game
Is it?
because it is the two rules of betting in Texas this year colliding.
Don't
which
trust
is
North
one,
Texas.
don't bet North Texas, and two, UTEP doesn't get blown out.
That is true.
I'm taking UTEP plus 23.
That's a great one.
That's all I got.
I don't have any trust. I don't have any
North
trust in
Texas will win this game,
No, yeah.
but it'll end up being a 17-point game
Right.
or a 10-point game. That's the way it's going to be.
It'll be 30-10,
Yes, 30-10. I'm taking
Yeah.
I'm taking UTEP minus.
and everyone will be
23.
miserable in the
Yes.
cold.
Yes.
So yeah,
But go out there and see Ashley.
Yeah. Tony brings up a good point too. He said, "No, make Tepper wear the sash." So what if
No.
I wear the sash and you wear the
It's not-
crown?
that's like no, you can't.
No,
do that.
I don't. I would not. You know what? I would not disgrace the good name of North
Stolen
Texas
valor.
homecoming. That's stolen valor. That's stolen valor. What's next, Ashley?
He's laughing so hard over there, if anyone was wondering. Another Conference USA matchup, Marshall at Rice, 2:30 p.m. Saturday. Marshall favored on the road by 10.5.
You know, it's weird because Marshall's actually a really pretty good team. They're a pretty good team, which makes this a really interesting line at only 10.5 against a winless Rice team. But let's also remember that Rice has tended to be better at home, which I think is part of this thing. If you're looking at Rice, this is not, or I'm sorry, if you're looking at Marshall, this is not a particularly inspiring offensive team. They're just kind of bobbing along. But then again, the Rice defense, especially against the pass, has not been good. On the other side, look, Marshall's defense is probably its strength. They're probably better defensively, which is going to be bad for Rice in this one. I would love to say that Rice keeps this thing within single digits, but I just don't see it, and I've been burned too many times. I'm taking Marshall minus 10.5.
Yeah, I'm taking Marshall as well. I think that's a good line.
Yeah, it's an intriguing line. I was like, only 10.5, huh?
Yeah, but it's facing pretty good competition. Rice, they got 20-6 versus Southern Miss, 35-20 against UAB. Yeah, I don't know. Against decent competition, they've lost by
the one thing to watch here. Marshall runs the ball pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing they do really well.
Sure.
And if you are Rice, their rush defense has been fine. Mm-hmm. It's been okay. So my question is, are they able to slow down this rushing attack led by Brendan Knox? That's the big question. If they slow it down, then Rice is going to be able to hang in it. But if they start running wild, then that's going to open up the passing game, which we know their secondary struggles. I am going to take Marshall minus 10.5. 2 more to go, Ashley.
Up next, it is Ish's favorite Bobcats on the road against Louisiana. 4 o'clock p.m. on Saturday. Raging Cajuns favored by 22.5.
Well, you go to Ishmael Johnson for the breakdown of this game.
Yeah, you take Lafayette.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you take Lafayette. Though not even considering kind of how underwhelming Texas State has been. Mm-hmm. Historically they've always struggled against Lafayette. Really, it doesn't matter the state of either program. Even when Lafayette was struggling under Mark Hudspeth last year's, this is always a game. I believe the closest game they had was like 2 years ago, and it was like 24-7. Like it's just like it's a game, it's a matchup that's just never favored Texas State. I don't know if it's just the state of where both programs are in terms of player development, because it's always seemed like in the trenches, Lafayette's always consistently dominated offensively and defensively. So I would take Lafayette pretty comfortably here.
The other thing is that I feel like Lafayette's going to be able to run wild on them.
Sure.
Is that the rush defense?
Texas State's rush defense has not been good this season.
Been good.
And Jensen's still in concussion protocol, so it looks like it's still Tyler Vitt, which, sure, we've seen the story before. I don't know if that means we'll see a little bit of Cedric Case or Jalen Gibson, because I know he has been practicing with the quarterbacks again. I don't know. We'll see. But you're asking if Lafayette scores, what's the spread again? It's
22.5.
22.5. Lafayette scores 24. Like, I'm not going to, like, it wouldn't surprise me if Texas State has none. Or if they score 27 and they score 3, right? Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to, you convinced me. I'm going to take Louisiana. I'm going to take Louisiana minus 22.5. I was kind of on the fence in this one.
Changing picks again.
Yeah.
What's next, Ashley? What's the last one?
We said we weren't going to do that anymore. The big matchup. Number 15 SMU heading over to number 24 Memphis. 6:30 p.m. Saturday. Memphis favored by 6 at home, where College Game Day will be at.
Yes, biggest Group of 5 game of the year. The winner of this game is in the driver's seat for the AAC championship, and therefore in the driver's seat for a New Year's Six Bowl, probably the Cotton Bowl. It's a massive game. And I would love to take SMU in this game. I would love to, because I think that they are a fantastic story. I think they've been a lot of fun to watch, but I also think that this is going to be easily their toughest game of the year. On the road, taking on a Memphis team that's going to be motivated, taking on a Memphis team that can score in bunches. And you talk about a team that scores quickly. There's a couple of things that kind of give me a little bit of pause here as far as SMU is concerned. One of them is that SMU's rush defense has been really good, but I also don't know if they've been tested like they're going to be tested against Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis can also throw the ball pretty effectively. I don't know. I think that this is probably a game that leans towards Memphis in this one. And as a result, I'm going to take Memphis -6. I know Bill Conley's FP Plus really likes Memphis in this game. By 13 or 14.
Yeah, I was about to say they don't like SMU. The numbers don't like SMU at all.
Yeah,
I believe SP Plus has them around 40th in the nation.
I would love to take this, and I do think that the SMU offense is going to have a chance to get some points in this game. But I worry about can their defense stand up to it, especially what we saw last week against Houston.
Yeah.
I'm going to take – it pains me, but I'm going to take Memphis -6.
Yeah, so Kenneth Gainwell is incredible for Memphis.
Yes.
He's averaging nearly, I believe, basically over 7 yards a carry, a little bit over 7 yards a carry. He hasn't been held to less than 100 yards since beginning of September. And granted, Shahan brought up this good point on Republic of Football where big-time rushers haven't really hurt SMU this year.
Right.
They've let big-time rushers have big games, and they just shut down either the quarterback or they just let that kind of fester as its own thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, Trey Siggers got his own yards. I'm trying to think of another rusher who had a big game against them. Darius Anderson has a big game, but we'll make sure Max Duggan doesn't do anything. Here's the problem with that. I think Kenneth Gainwell will have a big game, but also Brady White is a very good quarterback.
That's the problem.
And he's also at home. We've talked about Kellen Mond at home.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Brady White's numbers at home. Almost 76 completion percentage, 1,063 yards, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick. He is insane at home.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. You take a look at every time. Basically, SMU's taken on one really good quarterback that they've shut down. That was Mason Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, the Arkansas State quarterback threw for 324. The Tulsa quarterback threw for 346. And then last week, Clayton Tune threw for 407. That's what concerns me. I think that the offensive balance of Memphis is just going to be a little bit too much for the SMU defense. And as a result, I'm going to take Memphis -6.
Yep.
So those are your free money picks. I like Baylor -17.5. I like A&M -38. I like Central Florida -22 at home against Houston. I like TCU +3 at Oklahoma State. I like UTEP +23 at North Texas. I like Marshall -10.5 at Rice. I like Louisiana -22.5 at home against Texas State. And I like Memphis -6 at home against SMU.